What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I had a couple of requests for a video, like a shop tour type video. So I'm currently walking back to my shop. It is located on my property. You can see behind me, that's my house, and I have a shed here behind me as well. So we moved out here just about 5 years ago, and with intentions of finding a property where I could build the shop like I have today. I was working out of my 2-car garage at my house, so we found some land just over 2.5 acres, and it was like the perfect setup to build a shop. So we were here at the house for a year. I worked in the garage at the house that we're living in, and then decided, I better do this now. So the following spring we started construction and leveling out the land. We had a bunch of pine trees that we had to take down. They were basically the same size as that one behind me. There was about 14 of them. So we got all those down, and the excavation work started. That took about 2 to 3 weeks. We dug a trench from the location of the shop all the way up to the house to run the water line and the electric line back here. So the entire shop size is a 40 by 60. It's a pole barn built by Pioneer Pole Buildings out of Schuylkill Haven, PA. Took them roughly 3 days to frame it out and get all the metal on the building. And then the following week we poured the pad, and I was in here working by June. So the whole situation took from like February, and I was in there working in June once all the electrical work was done and I had all the lights and the ceiling strung up. So here's a few pictures of the excavation and the building of the shop. All the excavation work, like I said, took about 2 to 3 weeks. There's the trench that we dug up to the house to run the water line and the electricity back to the shop. So between everything, it was like 20 to 25 triaxles of stone that we had to get in to level off the pad and also build that driveway to come in. So once that was all done, Pioneer dropped the materials off. They were there at like 5 in the morning. The crew showed up around 7. They got right to work, and it was crazy how fast they were able to build it. It seriously took 3 days, start to finish, and they were done. And then it was time to move on to the inside. So garage doors were installed, I believe, the following week after the structure was built. And then we poured the pad. It was like Easter weekend, Easter Monday. The pad was poured. I did 6 inches on the floor. You can see a picture coming up here of my car that I pulled in before the pad was poured. Kind of looks like a Matchbox car sitting in the corner. So here's the pad getting prepped, and like I said, there it is getting poured. So within a week after everything was cured, I was able to start moving some stuff in there, and then it was moving on to working on the ceiling. So I put OSB on the ceiling, painted it white, and then strung the lights. And once I had all the lights up, I was able to get started working in there. Here you see the first thing I did was wash my own vehicle. I had all my stuff. This is the day I moved everything in there. And then we got some customers' cars coming in. So I made sure there was plenty of room for parking, especially when we get some big trucks and trailers that come in, some RVs. So right now it's just a stone parking lot. I have full intentions of getting this completely paved in the near future. It's starting to get worn down pretty good, but that's going to be the next big investment. All right, so that's a look at the outside. So let's go inside and check out what's going on. When I originally built this shop, 40 by 60, 2,400 square feet, I was like, my gosh, that is so much room. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a lot of room that you see behind me, but when we get 2 cars in here, things start to get a little jammed up. I'd like to be able to fit 4 or 5 cars in here at one time, but I have all of my stuff in here as well. So when I built the shop, I wasn't doing this full time. I was doing it part time. I was working my other job, And to me, it was like, all right, this is how it's going to be the rest of my life. I'm going to do, you know, a couple cars here and there, and then all my stuff will be perfectly fine. Well, now that I'm doing it full time, and you know, we're doing a ton of vehicles weekly, I kind of wish I went a little bigger on the shop, or if I had somewhere else to park all of those, you know, that whole section would be wide open for more work. I did buy the 4-post lift 2 years ago, so I could stack the vehicles, and then I bought the C10 shortly after that. So, I mean, we're kind of running out of room. I got the General last June, and usually my son's side-by-side is also over there on the side. We just have it over here. I cleaned it up for him yesterday. So, not to say that I'm running out of room, but you know, I wish I went a little bit bigger on the shop so that I could have more room to fit vehicles in here, especially when we have like ceramic coatings. So, you know, I'm going to hold them here for 24 hours before I give them back to the customer. And, you know, if the weather's not the best outside, then I have a car sitting here that no one's working on, and we only have one bay open. So, you know, moving cars around in here is kind of difficult at times. All right, so here we have my pressure washer system. As you can see, this is the AR Blue 630, the TSS. It's just the cold water. I didn't get the hot water. I don't have hot water back here in the shop. But you know, I was using the Sunjo, the SPX 3000 for quite a few years, and they would only last so long, and they'd conk out, and I'd get another one, and it was just kind of like, you know, it wasn't reliable for me. Just the use that we're putting them through. So this is more, you know, commercial grade. It's going to last a lot longer, and I am totally happy with the entire setup. The Cox reel, 100 foot of 3/8 hose, and just the simple use of it and the ease of it. It's just a cleaner look, more professional look than just having the small little pressure washer and dragging it around. So this definitely makes life easier, and I am super happy that I did it. I wish I did it sooner. We do all the washing here inside the shop. I have 2 drains in the floor, which will empty straight out the wall and goes into a huge pit that we dug out that side. So definitely nice to wash both vehicles inside of the shop instead of outside in the sun. But there are some, you know, dirty trucks that will come in that we would, you know, get all the mud and rinse off outside before we do bring them in here. But definitely nice having the drains in the floor. So if you're a detailer, you know that lighting is extremely important, and I have some lights to show you. So I have one mounted on the wall here, and I also mounted one onto a drywall cart. So this is totally portable, super easy to move around the car, get different angles of light. So this is a pretty important tool. We use this with just about every vehicle that we do any paint corrections on. And then I have some high bays in here. There are a total of 15. So 3 strips of 5, they're on 2 separate circuits, and most of the time I just have all the lights on. Originally I thought maybe I would have the lights turned off over by my vehicles, but it kind of puts a shadow on the car, so I just keep all lit when I'm in here working. In the corner here, this is where the electrical line comes in. So my box is inside of this closet, so I wanted to make sure that was protected since we are washing the cars nearby. And then I also put my compressor in here, so the line runs out and then runs over to the 2 retractable hose reels that are located on the wall there. We got all our washing tools and soaps on here on the shelf, and that shelf I think is made for like pots and pans to hang off of. I found it on Amazon, and I mean, it works perfect to hang all of our brushes off so they could dry after we're done using them. So it's a pretty cool little investment there. So last year we upgraded our washer and dryer in the house, and instead of getting rid of 2 perfectly fine units, I just brought them back here, and it was definitely a good move. I was getting tired of lugging bags of towels up to the house several times during the week, and then, you know, lugging them back here and folding them. Now I could just pop them in and out and get them over there on the shelf. So if you don't have a washer and dryer in your shop, it's definitely something to consider. So here's my somewhat organized shelf of all the products that I use, from compounds, the cleaners, everything in between. Just kind of keep everything here open. I am considering getting just nice cabinets to put them in, so they're not visible like this, and it would make things, a lot cleaner look here in the shop. But for right now, this is how I've had it set up for quite a few years. Here we have our vacuums and 3 carpet extractors. They're all Mighty, so the Mighty Light 2, the green ones are pretty old, but they're still working. And then I just purchased the 8070 2 years ago, and that's kind of our workhorse. And then the other 2 are just kind of backups, or if we have multiple vehicles in here that we're doing extractions on. So what I use for a counter, this is actually a retail counter from a clothing store, I believe. And I kind of use it as a bar. I have a TV set up behind, and I have my computer, my printer, and I'll do all my paperwork and everything here. But it's definitely like a professional look. It's clean, it looks nice, and it's also somewhere, if a customer is waiting for their vehicle, they can kind of hang out here, watch TV, and watch us clean their car. Whole shop's heated with a Modine propane heater, 175,000 BTUs. Definitely warms it up quick in here. Doesn't take long, especially even when it's like freezing cold outside. I've had some days this winter where it was like -5 or -10 outside, and come in here, it's very well insulated. I mean, the lowest temperature is usually around like 35, 40, and then it heats up pretty quick. So the shop wouldn't be complete if I didn't have a sticker-filled beer fridge. And this fridge was actually my parents' refrigerator when I was growing up. I think it's from like 1994. So it's coming up on 30 years old, and it is outlasting all of the new refrigerators, especially mine at the house, which we had to change some parts on already. And this thing just has no issues. So I'm on a pretty regular schedule of keeping the shop really clean. Several times during the week, I'll clean the floors, pressure wash them. Definitely like Friday or Saturday, whatever my last day of the week is that I'm working, I'll give everything a really good clean. And then I'm kind of getting on a quarterly basis where I just do a complete overhaul on the entire shop. That's like cleaning the walls off, cleaning all the shelves and everything, dusting. I get a lot of compliments from customers when they come in of how clean and organized this shop is. And I take pride in that. And I think that it helps get customers in here. Actually, one customer commented how he saw the pictures on my Facebook page, and he could see in the background how everything's so organized and clean. And that's what led him here, to get a vehicle detailed. So like I said, I take pride in my work. I take pride in my shop and everything that's in here, and just like to keep everything organized and clean. All of the banners that I have on the wall, I kind of accumulated over the years. When I was working in my house garage, I had some of these, and just hung them up in there. And then I started collecting more because in my mind, I knew one day I was going to have a large garage to put them on the wall. And that happened sooner than what I thought, but definitely adds some character to the shop. For anyone that's interested, I'll go over some of my toys that are over here. So this is my 21 Polaris General XP1000 4-seater. I got this last year. I ordered it right around February of last year, and it came in June 4th on my birthday. So it was like the best birthday present ever when they called me and told me it was delivered and ready to go. So that's a ton of fun to take out. 4-seater, you get the whole family in there, and we head out for the day. Up top on the lift is my 89 IROC. I bought this in the spring of '02. Did a ton of work to it. It was repainted before I bought it, so I basically just wet sanded it, polished it all out, and applied ceramic coating to it last year, and did the whole interior over. 17-inch C5 Z06 wheels, and then 10 years ago I did a LS swap. So there is a LQ4 6-liter Texas Speed head and cam, T56 8.8 rear 411s, and we just had a dyno tuned over the summer, and it's putting out about 400 horsepower to the wheels. So fun car to drive, definitely a big difference than that 305 that was in there. Speaking of 305s, that's what's in the C10. This is an 85. I bought this 2 years ago. Last winter we did the UMI full suspension underneath. We put a set of 17-inch Riddler wheels on it. And this one is also going to get LS swapped eventually. I have a 5.3 for it. Just haven't started that project yet. We have some house projects I need to get done first before I dive into that. So 305 power in this one for probably another year or so. And then we have my 78 K10, which I bought about 6 years ago. I really didn't have to do much on the exterior other than I think I put bumpers and a few trim pieces. I just rhino lined the interior so there's no carpet, recovered the seat, and the engine was the main thing. So I put a freshened up 355 aluminum heads and flat tappet cam. It's definitely a fun truck to drive around. It's a 4-speed. Get a lot of looks in this one, and it really stands out. The color is really what sold me on it. I'm really a big fan of blue trucks, obviously. And these things are going up in value like crazy. It's insane. So I was lucky enough to purchase these before the prices started to skyrocket on these trucks. But they're definitely fun and get a lot of compliments on all three of them when we head out to local car shows or car cruises. We're taking the Camaro to Carlisle in June. That's the GM Nationals. This year they're doing the 40th anniversary of the third gens. So I think that's going to be an awesome turnout there, and really looking forward to it. And then my son's Razor, he just got this for Christmas. We have a track set up in between my house and the shop. We had some, open space that really wasn't being used for anything. So we made a nice little racetrack for him. We had some go-karts and they just kept breaking. So we got our money's worth out of those, and then it was time to upgrade to a new toy as he's getting older. And then I have my, this is an 07 King Quad. Basically just use it for plowing the parking lot out here and doing some work around the house. All right, so that's my quick shop tour. Let me know in the comments what you think of the shop and how we have it set up in here. Maybe you have some ideas that I could use that you might be using in your own shop that you're working out of. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We have some new content coming out every week. I try to post at least once a week. We have some nasty interior jobs coming up. So stay tuned for those. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.